Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the forward contracts. We have already discussed in our previous session about the basics of the financial derivatives, and from today we are starting with the types of the financial derivatives, that is the forward contracts, which is a over-the-counter instrument. So before starting with the session, there is a big announcement from EduTap that we are providing flat 40% plus 10% off on these combo courses, and you can use the code weekend to get this offer. As well as we are providing flat 30% off on the single courses, and you can use the code WOW30 to get this offer, and this is valid from 7th January to 9th January 2022. So now starting with the forward, see, let's understand it with the example that there is a farmer that is trying to grow the potatoes. So he knows that it will take 2 months to grow the potatoes, and right now the prices are 20 rupees, but in the future the prices might go down. So he is afraid that what if the prices goes down to 15 to 10 rupees? He won't be able to even cover up the cost that he is bearing in the production. So he is very afraid that what if the prices will go down. And then there is a potato chips making company, and the chips making company is afraid that what if the prices will rise of the potatoes. So the cost of production will rise. If the prices will rise to 25 or 30 rupees, the company will face losses. So these both parties are in a risky situation if they consider the future. So they both parties will think to come in a contract. Okay, that okay, in the future, the farmer is saying that after 2 months, and the company is saying okay, after 2 months, what will happen, that sell me. This is the buyer is saying, the company is saying sell me 100 kgs. And the seller is saying that okay, I will sell 100 kgs of the potato at 20 rupees per kg. So they have limited their risk. Okay, what is happening, that the seller is now sure that okay, even if I produce, I will be selling my product for 20 rupees at least. So I won't be facing too much loss. And the company is sure that even after 2 months, even the prices rise to 25, 30, they are sure that we will be buying at 20 rupees. So they won't be bearing any losses. Okay, and their profits won't reduce too much. So this is the contract that we say is the forward contract, or it is a forwards. So here there is no intermediary, no authority is involved that is looking after that actually the contract is happening or not. It is a direct contract between the two parties, between the buyer and the seller, and they have decided the contract. Okay, so here the underlying asset is the potatoes. Because the forwards are the financial contracts that are deriving their value from the underlying asset, and that underlying asset is the value of the potatoes. Okay, the underlying asset is the potatoes. The expiration date, that is the settlement date, is also decided, that is after 2 months. The quantity is also decided. It is specified that 100 kgs of the quantity will be sold and will be bought. The price is also specified that 20 rupees will be the price. Okay, so see here the seller takes the short position. Okay, because the seller is thinking that the prices will go short, that the prices will fall, and the buyer takes the long position, that the prices will go up, that the prices will rise. So the seller in the derivatives, in the forward contracts, will take the short position that he is thinking that the prices will go down, and the buyer will take the long position that he thinks that the prices will go up. Okay, so now I hope you have understood that what is involved in a forward contract. Now when we talk about the over-the-counter instrument, that is, there is no exchange that is involved. There is no NSE, BSE, National Commodity and Derivatives Exchange that is involved. That is, there is no authority that is looking after that actually the trade is happening or not, that actually the contract is being maintained or not. Okay, so here the exchange is not involved. Here the over the counter means only the two parties are involved, and there is no intermediary, there is no authority that is looking after the two parties and looking after the contract. So there is a customized, see, over the counter means there is a customized contract that is happening, because the contract is directly between the two parties, and customized means they are agreeing with the facts of each other. Okay, customized means that how much quantity, how much price, how much time, this all is decided by the two parties, and no intermediary is deciding that prices and the quantity and the expiration date. So it is a customized, and customized also makes it illiquid. That is, the contract has become illiquid because if the seller wants to give this contract to some other farmer, the farmer might not agree. The farmer will say, I don't want to sell after 2 months for 20 rupees. Okay. Or the farmer will say that I can't sell 100 kgs. Or the other farmer will say that 2 months is not viable for me. So the contract has become illiquid because it is a customized contract according to the needs of the two parties that are directly involved. Okay, so the contract is illiquid and it is customized according to the needs of the two parties involved. There is a counterparty risk because there is no intermediary, no authority, no apex body is involved. So there is a risk of default, that the counterparty, that the other party might default. The seller might say, I don't want to sell. The buyer might say, I don't want to buy. And they will have to go to the court to fulfill the contract. And going to the court, as you all must know, it is a big thing. And the seller and the buyer might think that it is not even worth going to the court. Okay, so there is no authority that is directly looking after the contract, that is directly looking after the buyers and sellers, and so there is a counterparty risk. As well as it is illiquid, it is customized, the forwards. Okay. As well as see, in the exchange there are many investors, many people that are involved already. In the NSE, BSE, National Stock and National Commodity and Derivatives Exchange, there are many investors directly involved. So it is easy to find the counterparty, it is easy to find the other party. But in the forwards, you have to find the other party that is taking your needs into account. Okay, so that the contract can be formed. So it is a little hard to find the counterparty in the forwards. So settlement, how is the settlement done in the forwards case? It can be done in the physical settlement or it can be done through the cash settlement. Okay, physical settlement, you are directly sending your product, you are directly sending the potatoes. The farmer is sending the potatoes to the other party and the other party is sending the money to the farmer. This is the physical settlement that is happening. In the cash settlement, it will become a little tricky, so hear it very carefully. Okay. So the contract price is already decided and the contract price is 20 rupees. Okay, here you are not delivering, it is non-deliverable forwards, that is you are not delivering the product in the physical. Okay, you are just exchanging the cash. So the contract price is already decided at 20 rupees and the spot price, that is what is the price after 2 months, that is the current price. That the 2 months have finished and this is the date that you are settling. And at this date, the spot price is actually 15 rupees. Or at this date, the spot price is actually 25 rupees. So what will happen in these two cases? Okay. So if the price is 15 rupees, that is the seller and the buyer are there. The seller is kind of in a loss and the buyer is kind of in a profit because the buyer is getting at less money and the seller is getting less money. Okay. The buyer is getting the product at less money and the seller have to sell at less money. But what the seller has done, seller has taken the risk into account and he has already made a contract. So according to the contract, the seller should get 20 rupees. Okay, and the buyer should be buying at 20 rupees. What the buyer is doing, buyer is giving the money, 5 rupees to the seller. Okay, buyer is saying, I will just directly buy in my nearby market for 15 rupees and this extra 5 rupees that I am getting, okay, this extra 5 rupees I will give to the seller, so that the contract is fulfilled and the seller will at last get 20 rupees only for his or her product. So this is how he has maintained, seller has reduced the risk. Okay, if the price is for 25 rupees, so what will happen, that the buyer here is in a loss and the seller here is kind of in a position situation. So but the contract has been made and the buyer should be getting the product for only 20 rupees and the seller should be getting the 20 rupees only for his product. So now the seller that is getting the 5 rupees extra will have to give this 5 rupees to the buyer to buy the product. So the buyer will be getting the product for 20 rupees only. This 5 rupees is covered by the seller that is getting the extra 5 rupees. Okay. So this 5 rupees is covered by the seller. So this is the contract. This is the benefit of the contract, that you are making if the contract is being fulfilled. So this is the situation, this is the cash settlement that will happen. That if the prices are low, the buyer will be giving the extra money to the seller, and if the prices are high, the seller will be giving the extra money to the buyer, and he is saying just buy from the nearby market instead of catering to the transaction cost also. So this is the cash settlement contract. Okay, in the contract it was already written that we will settle in the cash rather than settling in the physical goods. Okay, so deliverable forward are the forwards that are settled in the physical quantity. Okay, you can see here physical asset is given and the money is taken. Here the cash is given or taken by the short person, that is the seller, or by the long person, that is the buyer. So why are they settling in the cash? Because they are catering to both the situation. That what if the seller is catering to the what if the prices go down, and the buyer is catering to the what if the prices go up. So that's why they are coming into a contract. Okay, spot price also I hope you have understood, it is the current price. So after 2 months when the time has come, so what is the current price at that time, and the contract price, that what they have decided in the starting. So practice question, disadvantage of forward contract, this you have to tell. A long position in a financial contract requires the party involved to do what? So, okay, I have told you about the short position, I have told you about the long position. So these are the people that have given the right answer of the session of the question of the previous session. Katie, Rajendra, Yash, Utkarsh, Amartya, Anonymous, Moon, Praki, Suyash, Justin, Subriya Jyoti, Prateek, Porus, Arijit, Arvind, Ankit and Rishabh. So well done you guys, and thank you very much. If you have any query, you can mail us here, you can contact us through this number. And in the next session, we will discuss about futures, and there you can understand about the cash settlement more, because in that the cash settlement are done on the daily basis. Okay, and that we will understand that how, why and what. So thank you very much.